India has long been celebrated for its rich cultural heritage, its vibrant festivals. In recent years, another part of India has captured global attention, our rich textiles and our fashion. Indian fashion has broken barriers and it's become renowned over the last few years on the international stage, placing India firmly among the world's top fashion hubs. Today, the country's top designers are making waves in international fashion, with their beautifully embroidered pieces being worn by celebrities from across the world who flock for Indian designers for their show-stopping looks.
And it's not just one or two, endless of them. We are flashing them on the screen as well, blending traditional Indian artistry with contemporary sensibilities. Big names like Beyonce have worn custom Abu Jani, Sandeep Khosla, Cardi B, stand-in Gaurav Gupta as well, and the list is really long. As recent as Grammys is where we saw a lot of Indian designers in full showcase. But India's contribution doesn't stop at high fashion gowns. It's also a powerhouse in the textile industry, a sector with rich, long history in the country. India is one of the oldest textile producers in the world, and today it plays a significant role in the global market. The Indian textile sector actually employs a staggering 45 million people directly and another 100 million in related industries. It's the country's second largest employer after agriculture. The textile exports stand at a remarkable $34.43 billion, with projections going up to $100 billion by 2030, not very far from now.
Those are some astounding numbers. And India is also the world's leading producer of hand-woven fabrics in particular. It makes up to 95% of the global supply. So what do we mean when we talk about that? Cotton, silk, jute, these are staples, but the country's textile industry is far from traditional. Global consumers grow increasingly concerned about this big question, sustainability, and India's textile industry is adapting to meet demands for eco-friendly products like organic cotton, recycled fibers, and sustainable dyeing processes. The shift isn't just a trend, it's a reflection of the growing need to align with this global environmental goals, this idea that we all need to become more friendly with the environment. So that means reducing global carbon emissions and obviously minimizing water usage. That's a key factor when you're manufacturing the fabrics.
So what's the future looking like? Well, the future of India's textile sector looks incredibly promising. High-performance textiles, such as those in automotive healthcare, think about that for a minute, aerospace, are becoming the important focus. India's advancements in material science means it's ready to lead in the development of specialized textiles for these industries. Additionally, technical textiles, those used for medical supplies, protective gear, and industrial processes, all are seeing very, very strong growth. And this new demand presents fresh revenue opportunities and showcases how diverse the textile industry is actually becoming.
However, it's not all smooth sailing. Okay, so beyond those numbers, India's textile sector does face some challenges. There's obviously the constant fear of geopolitical tensions, inflation, rising raw material costs, international competition from countries like China. China's right on top. We've also obviously got Bangladesh. It adds pressure on the big question of cost efficiency and market share. But these hurdles also open doors for innovation and strategic expansion. India's negotiating favorable trade deals with countries like the UAE, Australia, the UK. The goal or the hope is that it will open new markets and reduce tariffs on exports. Additionally, the rise of e-commerce presents a huge opportunity, if done right, for Indian textile manufacturers to reach consumers around the world, especially in the emerging markets.
So, looking ahead, India's textile sector is poised to become even more significant in the coming years, with ambitious goals to double its contribution to the national GDP. It's currently 2.3. We're expecting it to go to 5% by 2030. The industry is positioning itself for success. Key strategies for achieving this includes improving operational efficiency, integrating automotive, digitization, expanding new markets, all of that. The regular rule book really. But particularly in Africa, Latin America and Southeast Asia, these are the regions that offer promising growth and new opportunities, and India needs to become a leader out there.
Right. Sustainability, we're bringing it up again, is also a major focus for Indian textile industry, and it will play a pivotal role in the future. So manufacturers are already adopting renewable energy sources, striving to meet global environmental standards, and there is a commitment to sustainable production methods alongside the ongoing innovations in textile design and manufacturing. And all of this is hopefully setting the stage for India to lead the way in the next few years in the global textile industry.
So, all that information means what? It means that the Indian textile industry is on the rise. Not just because of its historical roots, but because of its ability to innovate and adapt. With a sharp focus on sustainability, high performance textiles, and growth in both domestic and international markets, the Indian textile industry is set to thrive for the years to come. So obviously everybody wants to jump in on the bandwagon, but how to go about it? Who will actually flourish? How to understand and become and participate in this textile journey that India is unfolding? We've got Ujjwal Lahoti with us. He's the executive chairman of Lahoti Overseas Limited, also ex-chairman for TEXPROCIL. It's the Cotton Textiles Export Promotion Council. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, we were just laying out details for our viewers to sort of understand where India is currently in its textile journey, where it's going. But if we were to take your view at the moment, where does India stand in the global textile industry? What are we doing well, and what are the areas that need to be, work needs to be done?
I can say that India is second largest manufacturer of textile and garments, altogether after China. And our strength is cotton because we have huge raw material. Like we are almost growing 25% of the cotton, which is grown all over the world. And our share of exports in Indian economy is almost 9%. Because I think the growth is expected to be very good in future, because government is also coming up with nice schemes like production linked incentive like PLI, technology upgradation fund, and of course the PM Mitra parks, and these are all helping, and the FTAs which happened and which are in the pipeline will also help to bring up export to be more competitive with various countries, and it will help to bring up more exports in future. So I think we are on a growing path in a good way.
Mr. Lahoti, can you explain to our audiences, we know that India's textile industry isn't as automated as, for example, China's, which is our neighbor. Now, I want to ask you a two-part question. Obviously, number one, what will it take to modernize our production to make it more efficient? But tell us also, is automation inherently a good thing? Are there safeguards needed?
Automation is really required because to get the right quality on the cleaner fabric, or automation is required. But now the other developed countries are using AI in a big way, but it needs a lot of investments in India to get on this kind of aspect. But it will be really, that is the future. Eventually we will definitely need this.
Oh, Dr. Lahoti, Mr. Lahoti, beg your pardon, this is so interesting. You know why? Because currently India, which prides itself in handmade, man-made textile, the labor of love that goes into making some of the most exquisite craftsmanship that comes out of India, that seems to be competing with mass production, competing with fabrics which are for the future. So how are we to strike a balance in all of this, that we don't lose out on our cultural heritage, stand out in the world for what India can offer?
Our traditional fabrics are, of course, doing, that is the heritage we have, but it needs a lot of modernization or the artisans, definitely need some kind of guidance from the government. And of course, the government has given some schemes like PM Vishwakarma, which are helping in this way to get it. But actually, it is not having more of the export market, but domestic market we have a huge domestic market as well. So it is going to be more in domestic market until we have more efforts or more kind of technology modernization happening in the heritage fabrics, I can say.
Okay, so back to the need of the hour seemingly being modernization. Can you tell us, if we could just shift focus slightly, textile waste is also a huge issue. How can India get better at recycling, at upcycling? We talk a lot about this on the Breakfast Club. And what's stopping the country right now? What are the roadblocks?
No, the major matter in this is investments because the investments in India in recycling and upcycling are not that high. It is required now. The demand also there for the recycled raw materials as well, recycled fabrics, garments from all over the world, which will drive this. And there is some unorganized, I can say, not so much organized sector for collection of such kind of waste garments or getting the changing trends and the fashion getting out. But there is some need of getting more organized way of collection of these garments, and important is investment in recycling, upcycling plants. So it will help.
I see. So could you
and
also...
I think it is on the move. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, please.
It is on the move, actually. Sorry.
No, go ahead, sir. We wanted you to go ahead. You were saying that it's on the move. I think you were saying it's on the upward rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now the demand is also coming from global market for all this kind of thing. And that's why, people are, more investments are coming in this area. So I think it will be growing fast. Okay. And now also PM recently said that we should do some startups in this kind of area. So I think people are getting very serious about it. And commercially also it is a need of, it's a requirement, a lot of demand coming for this.
Yeah, Mr. Lahoti, you're right about that. In fact, very recently, right here in the national capital, at the Bharat Mandapam, there was a textile expo that also saw massive participation, states participating, government participating, Khadi, of course, being the crown jewel over there that India is projecting. But the question I want to understand from you is, what will it take for India, this is now from a global perspective, for India to be not seen as just a hub for cheap labor, but actually being seen as a country which can project really luxurious handcrafted garments and even fabrics to the world? Because currently that seems to be the perception that we are fighting. Yes, there are Indian designers doing very well, but that's just niche.
Actually, like you said, Khadi is not now the Khadi, but it's more on the fashion side. And many designers are as well using Khadi as a fashion. And it is growing. Also, regarding I don't think now India is looked at more as a cheaper country, because
not cheap country, I meant hub for cheap labor. And then,
to say, we don't have any more that kind of pricing for the labor also, and we are developing a lot of modernization is happening for textiles. So it is crossed that kind of level, and all over the world is looking at India as big sourcing for fabrics, more good of designs, and many designers are also approaching. So I think the shift is changing completely.
Okay, Mr. Lahoti, you earlier said that AI is being used in textile production, and I don't know if you meant it in a big way, but that's our next question. Can you just tell us a little bit about the exciting stuff you see taking place in India right now?
AI is a requirement nowadays in textile because if we want to compete, we have to use it, because many other countries are using the robotic, what do you say, the robotic quality check parameters and such kind of things. But of course, it needs investment. So basically, the textile in India is really requiring big investments, which is expected by the government schemes. And AI only the future is
Can we
it
just,
will
sorry,
quiet
Mr. Lahoti, can
because
we just ask you to break down for us how AI could be used? So what are the different ways one could use it if the investment were to come in? I understand that you're saying that abhi, that investment is the bigger problem.
yeah, AI can be used in like automation in weaving, like waterless dyeing, or many other kind of areas to make very smart fabric, like in technical textiles as well, for different applications. I think AI has a big list of which how it can be used in textile, but it is required.
All right. So, in conclusion, sir, I just want to understand from you, if the government was listening to you right now in terms of what is it that the industry really needs, do you want to conclude by saying what is the need of the hour? What can really give you a further push?
Beyond investment, which we've talked about to some degree.
Raw material wise, we are strong in cotton, and we are lacking little bit in the synthetic raw material, because uh, we have our own produce, which is not very competitive, and we are not allowed to import the synthetic raw material. So we don't have a level playing field in this area. Cotton is very much grown in the country. So our strength is cotton, I can say. And until the government opens up for the import of raw material very easily. And I think investments are coming. The demand is coming. We are getting bigger shares in UK, US. We have almost 40-45% share in our home textile area, which is like quite large. And the growth, I can say the growth is pretty well. So we can expect in next 10 years, India will be one of the big, is already one of the big, but it can be biggest textile global player.
Okay, then. All right, sir. We'll.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for illustrating that for us, Mr. Lahoti.
Thank you so
for,
much.
Yeah, thank you for breaking down for us the topography of where the industry stands right now, but also the important steps we need to take just to go forward.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.